Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with the bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie, Jessica.
So today's video is all about those age gap romance wrecks or age gap romances,
Yes.
which is Mandy's go-to. This is
I
your
love it. Has
expertise.
to be nice and taboo, though. There
Yeah,
has to be a reason the age gap is a problem.
right, exactly. So before we get started with the recommendations, what do we need to tell them?
Well, we need to tell them to hit that subscribe button so they can be entered to win these books right here. You definitely want them. They are signed by Calla Reed. They are fantastic books. So hit that subscribe button and you can follow us on Instagram for an extra entry.
Yep. Okay, so you've got 5, I've got 5.
Yes.
Let's get started.
And if there's any favorites that you guys have, put those in the comments. I've probably already read them and they're in our other rec videos, but in case I've missed one, please put them in the comments. Tell us what your favorites are.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to start or do you want me to go?
You could start.
Okay.
I do care.
You
You
do
always
care.
start. It would be
That
unnatural.
It would just throw you off, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so my first recommendation is by Kate C. Wells. Now, you can read this as a standalone. This is a part of her 5-pack series. This, I think, is the 3rd book in her 5-pack series. I could be wrong on which book it is, but this is called The Lone Wolf's Rejected Mate. It takes us back to the Quarry Pack. If you've read any of these, this goes back to the original Quarry Pack. And this is the story of Mary, and I think we say his name is Darrow. I listened to the audio. It's been a while. I can't remember how they pronounce his name. But Mary is a lot younger than Darrow. And because of this, when he realized that she was his fated mate, she was very, very young and he was a grown man out doing his thing. And so he decided to leave the pack. He lives on the outskirts of the pack. He's only seen her through one heat, and it was a total wham bam thank you ma'am kind of thing, because he does not want to take away from the fact that she is so much younger than him and he wants her to live her life and he doesn't want her to be saddled with him. But they're fated mates, and all Mary has ever wanted is to find her mate and have a family. And because she's been a part of this outcast group of girls who and part of that is because of her relationship with Darrow. And so this is their story. He is quite a bit older than her. I can't remember the gap, but I know it's way more than 10 years. It's pushing that 20. And he wants what's best for her, and he believes that that's not him. But when you have a fated mate, there's no other answer. Like, you're going to be pining for that fated mate. So this is their story. So definitely go pick up that one. All right. So what is your first age gap recommendation?
Well, my first age gap recommendation comes from the queen herself. The Lovely Return by Carrie Ann Cole.
All right.
Oh, I don't even know where to begin with this book. So we have Penny and Alex. I hysterically cried during the prologue of this book. So good, so captivating. So we have age gap, we have a very slow burn here, we have reincarnation, and we definitely have forbidden love. So Alex is kind of becoming like a little bit of a recluse. He doesn't really leave his home, works in his shop. Penny is the little neighbor girl that lives a little ways away, and she wanders and just like shows up to his house. And they form a very odd friendship, I would say, but Penny just naturally seems to like know where everything is in the house, and she feels very comfortable. She recognizes the dog, and it's sort of a little odd to Alex, like where all of this is coming from, but he appreciates her friendship. Okay. Even though it's very, very appropriate. I want to just point that out. There's nothing inappropriate in this book, and nothing happens in their relationship until she is older. Okay. I don't want to give anything away because there's a lot of stuff that happens in this book. So Penny has these reoccurring dreams that keep happening, and she feels like this connection to Alex that she can't really explain. And her and Alex, their friendship, as she's much older, there becomes kind of like an undeniable chemistry between the two of them. And from there, there's a lot of things that are revealed that happen. It's so hard to talk about this book without giving away spoilers. So just trust me on this. If you like a taboo age gap, go read this. Just go do it.
All
That's
right.
all I'm going to say. I feel like I'm not doing this book justice. And I feel
Like
like
that.
sometimes when I really love a book, I just want to tell people to go read it. And so I don't do the best job. But then, and you do this too, like when there's a book we don't like, we can be like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah."
We do. We just go
So
on and on and on. But the ones we do love,
there's
we're like,
just some really big things that happen in this book that I don't want to say because I feel like it's too spoilery. So
yeah.
just go read it. It's so good.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So my next book is also in a series, but this can be read as a standalone. All these books in the series can. This has one of Mandy's favorite tropes in it, which is amnesia. So let's talk about it. So this is Twisted Obsession by S. Massery. This is book number 4 in her hockey series, but like I said, it can be read as a standalone. So this is about Jacob and Melody, or Mel, and Jacob is on the hockey team. And he has been obsessed with this woman for years. Like we've seen him talk about it in other books. And that person is Mel. So he's playing a hockey game one day. He hasn't seen her for a long time. I think it was like a year or this huge amount of time. And all of a sudden she's there. But what he doesn't know is that she has lost her memory. She was in an accident and she doesn't know who anybody is. She can't remember anything. Well, she was his married professor and they were having a relationship. So she is older than him. And now that she's come back, he's going to use that to his advantage with her not remembering what happened to get the girl. So this is dark. This is crazy. But then there's the question of where's the husband? Because he's not there. So where is the husband? So I loved this one. Because again, I think it's because of not all of these books. I mean, I enjoyed them, but they were not all 5 stars. But these one, like this one, like it has the amnesia in it, and you have that question of where's the husband? Where'd he go? Why isn't he there? Why isn't he with his wife? What's up with that? So you got the affair too. So you know. Okay. What else you got?
Okay, my next one is Older by Jennifer Hartman. Loved this book as well. So all of my age gaps are solid 5-star recommendations. So just go read them all. You will not be disappointed, or at least I hope you won't. So we have Hallie, like the comment, and Reed. Hallie, the beginning part was a little hard to read, not because of the writing, but because it was very emotional. Hallie has like a really horrific home life. It's awful. And so she often finds herself trying to find ways to kind of escape being home. And she's out at a party one night, and this guy shows up that's looking for his teenage daughter. And they kind of connect, and she might not be super honest about how old she actually is. And they share this undeniable connection, but some things happen and nothing ends up happening between the two of them. So we fast forward a little bit, and Hallie has like a best friend whose family begins to learn about what's going on in her home life, and so they take her in. And her best friend's dad is going to come over for dinner. He's just recently moved back. And it turns out he is Reed. And there's still this connection between the two of them. But it becomes very taboo because he's a lot older. She and his daughter are best friends. So, how do they fight this attraction to one another? And how does this work out? Because Reed wants to repair this relationship with his daughter. This is set in the 90s, so it has a lot of fun references to 90s music. So incredibly good. Highly, highly recommend it. Definitely has all the taboo that you need in a book about age gap.
Okay.
It's also a slow burn, but most good age gaps are.
Our slow burns, yeah. All right. So the next book I have is an MC romance. And the age gap has a part in the first half of the book, not so much in the last half, but it does have a part in the first half of the book. So we're going to talk about that one. So this one is called Lethal, and it's by Cassandra Robbins. So this is about Eve and Jason, or Blade is his road name. So Eve works at a carnival. She is a carnival, like her dad is a carnival worker. And so she's worked at this carnival. And a few years before our book really gets started, she meets the guys who are part of the Disciples, which is the MC Club. And that is where she sees Jason at the carnival. And he is attracted to her until he finds out that she's only 17 or 16 or 17. And when that happens, he's like, yeah, I'm out of here because you're jailbait. And he walks away. Then we have a few years later, they're back in the same town, working the carnival. Her dad has something wrong with his lungs. He's dying. Her brother has gotten into drugs and he has made a really bad deal and he owes money to the MC and some things are happening. So they come back to the carnival and that's when he sees her and realizes that, wow, she has grown up. Now there's still that age gap, but she's of age now. And that is when he decides that since the dad can't repay, they don't have the money, and the brother is nowhere to be found because he's taken off, that he is going to take her as his woman. He brands her immediately and takes her back to the MC to pay the father's debts. So the age gap does come into play a few different times in the book, but oh, it was so good. Got to wait till she's of age to take her, you know? It's only the responsible thing to do.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on.
Okay. What else you got?
So I have Beautiful Monster by Sarah Kate. This, so good. I know she's super popular for her Praise series, but I love this book. So I feel like this is a hidden gem of hers. You don't really see it or hear people talking about it, but it is fantastic. So in this, we have Alex who moves in and is backyard neighbors with Sunny and her mom and Sunny's sister. So Sunny and her mom and her older sister are very much into using their assets to attract men, and they have pool parties and they drink a lot and that sort of thing. And Sunny really wants absolutely nothing to do with this. And her mom's actually a little mean to her about how Sunny's not like them. And so Sunny is just desperate to get money so she can move out of her mom's house. And Alex kind of sees some of this treatment and he sees some shady stuff going on. And so he basically crosses that fence and goes over there and tries to help Sunny. And he's not really sure why he's pulled towards her, but he just is. But he moved to this like neighborhood to try and get away from the lifestyle he'd been living, if that makes sense. But he feels for Sunny, so he hires her to paint a mural in his pool house, and this leads them to spending quite a bit of time together. So he is obviously older than her. She is a teenager, but she's like an of age teenager. But there's enough of the whole like, I can't be involved with a teenager that really kind of brings in that taboo and that angst for this story. Fantastic. Read. Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Go read it.
Yes, Jessica.
Okay. There's lots of books out there. There are lots on my TBR. It's hard.
I know. We need to get done filming so I can go read.
Oh, okay. Let me just tell you about my next book.
Quick.
Read or Dateline. What are you doing right now?
Well, I do have a Dateline episode that I was in the middle of. So
yes, you gotta finish that too. Okay, so my next book is by S.J. Tilley. Let me tell you about it. This is a 21-year age gap. This is Latte, darling. It's I think it's kind of a getting more popular. So you guys might have already read it. I don't know, but I did love this book. So this is about Maddie. She's met this guy online on a dating app and she's out on the date. Now she's starting to freak out at the beginning of this book because the guy's not showing up at all. Like he hasn't shown up. He's a whole 5 minutes late, which I can relate to. I am an early bird, so I'd be panicking if a guy was 5 minutes late to a date. And then just as she's getting ready to leave and she's giving up on this whole situation, this silver fox walks in and he is like, hey, are you Maddie? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, well, I'm not the guy you're looking for. I'm his dad. The guy you're looking for lied about his age. He's actually 20. He's living under my roof. And so he's not being responsible. So I took away his cell phone that I paid for and all this other stuff. And so instead of him just turning around and leaving, there's this attraction. So he sits down and he has the date with her, which then leads to a one night stand and a few other things. But there is this huge age gap between them. And yes, she's in her 20s, but like she was going to date his son, but he's 21 years older than her. So, like, you know, how does that work? But this guy is hot and he can dirty talk like no other.
What was the name of this book?
Latte, darling.
Oh, that's right. I do actually have this on my TBR.
Yeah, the audio was great for it. I listened to it in the car driving home from Seattle and it was great.
I'm going to write this down. I need to grab it.
Yeah. Okay. What's your next book after you write this down, of course?
Is this going to be my last book?
No.
Oh, okay. Now I know what my next book is. Sorry. I was like, wait a minute. Okay.
Okay.
So I Wish I Would Have Chosen You by Whitney G. So this is about Genevieve and Liam. So Genevieve, I need to back up for a second because the author suggests going in blind in her I Wish I Would Have series. So for this one, if you want to go in blind and you can just know it's an age gap and it's very good. I'm going to give a little tiny bit of information though, but it's not a spoiler at all. So Genevieve is at a high school boarding school and she really connects with Liam for different reasons. Like there's a solid reason that her and Liam connect. It's over basically she's super smart and she can hold intellectual conversations and Liam finds that pretty attractive. And he meets her outside of the school and then discovers that she is a student at the boarding school that he works at. Dun dun dun, that he is a professor at. Absolutely love this. Go in blind. You don't need any more information than that. It is incredibly good. So go give it a try.
Go give it a try. Okay, so my last book is one that you and I just read, and it was.
Ooh, we just read an age gap.
We did together.
Oh, that book is so wild in so many other ways that I wasn't even thinking about it being age gap.
So this book actually releases today, the day this video comes out, the 23rd of May. So you can go and watch it or read it, and you can also do our read along with it, which is perfect because this is a BJ kind of week, right? So I've got a BJ Alpha book. Okay, so let's talk about this one.
Pardon my twitching eye.
Your twitching eye. It's tired, that's why. So this age gap, she is 18 and he is 31. I think is what the age gap was. So this is Possession by BJ Alpha. This book is wild and crazy and so damn good. There is so much more plot to it than what you think if you actually read the book before this in the series, but you don't have to. But this is about Ellie and Raph. This is Mafia. This has got Daddy Kink. It's got it all. Like it has got stuff in it that I have never read in any other books. She becomes Raph's nanny for his 3-year-old son. So she is best friends with Jade, who is the heroine from, I don't know if she's calling it Daddy's Addiction now or just Addiction because it was taken down. And there's some drama behind that. But this girl, Ellie, is the best friend to Jade. And that is how Raph meets her because Tommy in our first book is Raph's brother. And he goes over to their house, to Tommy's house, and that's where he sees Ellie. And he decides from then on that she is going to be his nanny. Yeah, and not only that, she's going to be his little doll too. And things happen, but she's still in high school at this point. She's 18. She's got to finish out high school. But she's really good with his 3-year-old. And I just can't say anything else. You guys have to go read this book. Like, it was so good. There's so much more to the story than just the kink, but oh my gosh, BJ brings it. So
very plot intense.
Very plot intense. So go get it. It's the title changed from Daddy's Possession to Possession. So it's just under Possession. So yes. Okay. So what is your last age gap?
Well, my last age gap is All My Love by Daisy Jane. I've talked about this quite a bit. It is so good that I just had to stick it in here for this one as well. So we have Dolly, who her and her two sisters live next door to this farmhouse. And a couple moves in, and she is, I think she's 15 when they move in, and she is smitten with him. And his wife ends up leaving him and his baby. And so Dolly becomes like a caregiver. She helps take care of Bear, the little boy. And over the next 4 years, they really bond and develop a relationship that is extremely important to Dolly. All the while, she is madly in love with Hudson, and she stalks him, like flat out stalks him. Her sister will look out for her so she can sneak in his house and check out like the dishes in the sink and all sorts of really unhinged, crazy stuff. She does it all. But she's doing this because she knows that Hudson is her soulmate, and she is planning and preparing for when they can finally be together. So when she turns 20, she's no longer a teenager and he's in his 30s now. She feels like he will have to see her now as his soulmate. And so that's where we go with this story. There's definitely kink in here, but it is written really well into the book. Daisy Jane does a fantastic job of having those kinks in there. And you just like go along and you're reading it. You're like, oh, okay. And it doesn't take away from the plot. She also writes very plot intense books. So super good. I think most of us can relate a little tiny bit to Dolly. A little bit. Probably none of us quite to the extreme as Dolly, but a
No,
little bit.
a lot of women who were teenage girls at one point can totally relate.
Yes.
Which is the majority of us. Yeah. So, okay, guys. So that is it for age gap for this video.
Yes. Make sure to put in the comments below what your favorite age gap is.
Mandy will read it if she hasn't already.
If I haven't, I will. I've got to go read a few of Jessica's now.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us. And also keep an eye on our channel and our social medias for when we do other surprise video drops.
Yeah, don't forget to hit that notification bell because then it will tell you when we drop extra videos. So that's kind of cool. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.